minus 12t. And then we'll plug 5 into that. See, they're not all hard. I actually think the calculated problems are harder. So this would be 75 minus 60. So 15 meters per minute squared. No, you won't have a calculator at all. I think so. I mean, I want to tell you, yes, that's what I've always heard, so.
John, you were in calculus. How did I know it's 12 times 5? No, I got that one. I just don't, like, no. What's 12 times 5, John? What is it, John?
You sound like my freshman.
Yes. One more? There you go.
I always just separate 12 into 10 and 2. So 10 times 5 is 50, and 2 times 5 is 10. Alright, so based on the Model B from Part C, find Bob's average velocity during the interval 0 to 10. Alright, so instead of, this equation gives me his instantaneous velocity. So if I wanted velocity at a specific point in time, then I would use this. To find the average velocity, there's a couple of ways that you can do it. But them involve integrating this, so I'm trying to decide. Yeah. Alright, so to find the average velocity, what we would want to do, anytime you want to find the average value of a function, whatever it is, you're going to do 1 over the width of the interval that you're finding this on. So we're going from 0 to 10, so we're going to do 1/10. If it had been from 2 to 5, we would do 1/3. If it had been 12 to 16, we would do 1/4. So whatever, this is the width of the interval that you're finding. Right. Yes. Yeah. So from 0 to 10 is the width of 10, so 1/10. And then you integrate whatever it is you're trying to find the average value of. So if I'm trying to find the average value of the velocity, I'm going to integrate the velocity interval 0 to 10. So if I integrate that, I'm going to get t to the 4th over 4 minus 6t to the 3rd over 3 plus 300t.
Wait, how do you put this on a calculator?
You can do it without a calculator.
But like, find an actual answer.
You can do it without a calculator.
Yeah,
you do. Well, you don't have to worry about putting a 0 in, because 0 plugged into all of these will just give you 0. So really you just have to plug the 10 in. 10 to the 4th would be 1,000, right? Or no, 10,000. 4 zeros, so 1 0, yeah, 10,000 divided by 4. So that would be 2,500 minus, this is going to be 2 times 1,000, so 2,000 plus 3,000. Maybe. Again, like, I'm not 100% sure. This can't be right. What am I doing wrong? Hold on. I'm doing something wrong here. Oh no, I'm right. That just seems ridiculous. 350 minutes. Okay. That answer seemed ridiculous to me, but I guess it's okay. 350 meters per minute. Alright, so, yep. So if you plug in 10, you get 10,000 divided by 4, which is 2,500. 2 times 1,000, which is 2,000. 300 times 10, which is 3,000. So this would give you 3,500. Right. Yes, and then subtract, yeah. You do the 5 and the 2 and subtract. Yes. But I think they did that. I think they did this on purpose. I don't think they wanted you to have to do 2 of them and subtract. I think they did it on purpose. Hey, what's that? Good, how are you? AP review. AP calculus. Yeah.
If you are doing this and someone watch mine all the time, they take attendance, and if one, is anybody in A's here? Probably not. Yeah. So if y'all are in it and you mark down,
Okay, I can get paid for it.
and pay your teacher here. You know what I mean?
Make money. Buy y'all some.
Help her out.
Buy y'all some breakfast tacos out of the test.
Refreshments back to women. I gotta go to a whole heap of stuff, but we can do that as well.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys are doing this, and then you want to help you guys out, but I appreciate y'all saying after.
Yeah, they're good kids.
Yeah, just give them, if they just sign in.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So if you think about it, this makes sense, this formula for average, because how do we normally find an average? We find the total, and then we divide by how many there were. So when we integrate this, we're getting a total, and then we're dividing by how much there was. There was 10. So we're going to take 1/10 of this, and we're going to get 350 meters per minute. Right. John, you are cracking me up. That the calculus you're not complaining about. It's the arithmetic. You're like, I don't want to do the arithmetic. All right, so 1.4, the 1.4 knowing that you had to integrate, 1.4 integrating it, and 1 point for getting the answer, plugging in and getting the answer. So 3 points for that part. Maybe you can try. You can leave little tear stains and put. Look at my tears. Yeah. So. No. Yeah. People make one. Yeah. But most people that make one don't review at all. So the people that have reviewed, it happens. But you're going to be so much better off, this whole review thing, and it's going to, help everything kind of set a little bit better. So if you do end up having to take the class, it's not the end of the world. All right, so the one in 2014 that was over... Good Lord. This one's not fun. I know, I'm looking to see if there's others.
This is the only math grade that has statistics that we need here. I think for you.
Oh, here we go. Here, look at the 2011 test. I only have a few more minutes. 2011, number 1. Let's look at this one. Number 1. And this is a calculator one, so you would... But you have a calculator. Well, you need, I'll show you what you need. Nothing. No. Yeah, they might give you on a problem if they were going to use the volume of a cylinder or something, they'd give you the equation for the volume of a cylinder. But, yeah. I know, he doesn't want to do 12 times. Yes. You're weird. All right, so this is number 1. All right, so for All right, so for 0 to 6, the particle is moving along the x-axis. The particle's position, s of t, is not explicitly given. The velocity is given by, and they give you the velocity equation. Acceleration is given by, and, x of t, not s of t. And x of 0 is 2. All right, so is the speed increasing or decreasing at t equals 5.5? So we already did a speed one. Do you remember what we have to do? Yep. So we have to figure out what the velocity is at 5.5. And acceleration, no, velocity is, speed is the opposite. Yeah, but you have to check and see, are the velocity and acceleration working together or not. So make sure that your calculator, and like I said, on the day of the test, I'm going to make sure it's already in radian mode. But make sure on this problem, because it does have trig in it, that the settings are set to radian mode. So, yeah, 5, 2, 1, and make sure it's make default. Radians, yeah. I'll make sure all the calculators I bring over for the test are in radian mode, but since I don't know which. On the home screen, go to settings, which is number 5, and then settings again, which is number 2, and then general, which is number 1. And you want angle to be radian. Alright, so we're going to put in 2 sine e to the 5/4 plus 1. Right? So we're going to type in our velocity equation, but plug in 5.5 for t.
Wait, where's this
5.5 over 4. The velocity equation says 2 sine e to the t over 4 plus 1, and we're plugging in 5.5 for t. Okay. Yep. Yeah. So that's just the velocity equation with 5.5 plugged in for t.
Oh, I had an error. Oh my goodness, this crooked didn't that.
Did you make sure you put it in radian mode?
Wait.
Did you make sure you picked make default?
I keep seeing the error. Wait, 2 sine 5.5 over 8
2 sine e to the 5.5 over 4. The plus 1 goes outside.
I did that on this one.
There you go. Doing the right e. I don't know what it's about. No, this e. Don't use the letter E down at the bottom. Use the E button. The E button that's like right here next to the 10 to the x. Use that one. Alright, so the velocity at 5.5 is negative. And then we're going to plug into the acceleration equation. We're going to plug in 5.5 for t. So 1/2 e to the 5.5 over 4 cosine e to the 5.5 over 4. Alright, so we'll type that in. We also get a negative for the acceleration at 5.5. Velocity and acceleration have the same signs. So speed is increasing. Alright, and we just did an average velocity problem. That was the one where we did the 1/10 of the integral from 0 to 6 or 0 to 10 or whatever. So if we want to find the average velocity